and the backs as a whole worked out a plan, and they executed extremely well in the first half. And like any good player, they're going to get opportunities in the second half, and Cox did some good things in the second half, but I thought it was an intriguing duel, and young Tommy did a fantastic job.
The midfield battle was tight and tough all afternoon. One of the key matchups was Elliot Yeo versus Levi Greenwood. Elliot having a fantastic season. The Pies sending their number one stopper to him. In the end, Elliot finished with 19 touches and a critical goal that put the Eagles in front. Luke Shuey and Dom Sheed, the dominant midfielders on the ground, with 34 and 32 touches respectively. What did you make, Simo, of the overall midfield battle throughout the afternoon?
We didn't really know in the build-up to the week where Levi was going to play, and we thought, because he's been playing back a little bit this season, when we got the teams in 90 minutes before the game, we noticed that there was 6 backs already on, and we've been planning for if he was going to play in the midfield, he's going to tag either Luke Shuey, Elliot Yeo. So Luke's used to it. He's had that attention a lot, but Elliot hadn't had much attention throughout the year, and he had a really good season. You know, he was All-Australian the year before as a defender, and this year in the squad as a midfielder. So we weren't surprised when it happened, and we got the same focus for us with Hutchings with Sidebottom. So it is about the collective, and if one of your players can be taken out, you got to rely on the others. And I think we had an exceptional performance from Luke Shuey, who normally gets tagged. And I think they changed that at half time, which allowed Elliot to get back into the game because he's a pretty good tagger, Levi.
As we mentioned earlier, Jeremy McGovern required pain-killing injections to be able to run out in grand final day. Now, the story going around since then, he suffered cracked ribs just before half-time.
Did he?
Have you guys heard? Have you seen any medical reports to suggest this is the case?
I've seen him out a lot. That story will grow. That may be true, but I haven't got a medical report saying that he's got broken ribs. But I have read that somewhere.
Yeah. He didn't have an issue lifting the Gatorade tub up and pouring over your head, did he? Yeah.
No, he's a tough bugger. I must admit, he plays with under a lot of duress, Gov, and not many people would have got up to the line like he did on the weekend. We undersold it a little bit. It was pretty brave to do what he did, and the way he plays too. It's not like he plays on the outside. He's always in spaces where it's pretty risky. So for him to get through the game, I don't know if he broke his ribs or not, but I'm sure he did in 10 years' time when we get to the reunion.
Another of Collingwood's big guns up forward, Jordan De Goey, he'd proven time and again to be an explosive match winner for the Magpies this season. He's such a difficult matchup, isn't he, due to his size and his strength. He's that modern hybrid forward midfielder, and Will Schofield ended up getting the job on him. How'd he go? Yeah,
look, I've been really proud of our coaches this year, with obviously Jamie and Sam Mitchell in the midfield as well, prepping our players, and Daniel Pratt is in with our backline. He helped prep Schofield for that role. Obviously with Shepherd going out of the side, really stiff not to play in the first final, Will, and he knew what job he had to do in the grand final, and he was just so on task and so driven. From the first bounce, you could see the look in his eye that he didn't want to let anyone down, and he definitely played his part.
So he had the job deep on De Goey whenever De Goey went to the goal square, but interestingly it came to pass in the dying moments of the match. It was actually Jeremy McGovern who ended up one-on-one with De Goey deep in the goal square, and Will Schofield's provided a fascinating insight into how that happened and how the match-winning play came to pass, courtesy of the Eagles Back Chat podcast.
Well, the only reason Gov was on De Goey, this hasn't been touched on in the public, right? I had to go deep. That's my role. The play before this magical play happened, it was a scrimmage. There was smothers, and it was just crap going everywhere. Right? There was about 3 shots on goal. Taylor Adams had a shot. Blah blah blah. Spilled out. Luke Shuey ended up tapping it out to Duggo. Surged off his boot, landed in Cripper's arms. I was somewhere around the top of the 50, and I'm like, there's not long left here at all. I hadn't left the back 50 for the whole game. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a hero. I have started sprinting down the middle of the ground. No one around me. The ball gets kicked to a 2-on-2. Jack Darling and Flying Ryan versus Crisp, maybe Maynard. And I was like, if we had have won that, I promise you, if you have a look at behind the goal vision.
What, you're streaming in for goals?
I was you'd be Dom. This is what happened. So there was me in the middle of the ground. The contest was on the wing, 2-on-2. I was 30 to 40 metres in front of any Collingwood player, and Willie and his opponent were inside 50. So we had won that. I would have then kicked the ball in the middle of the ground, and either Willie's opponent would have pressed me and I would have kicked it over the top, or I would have had to run and have a shot for goal. Next minute, we lose the 2-on-2. Scully's so far ahead of the game that I've looked up and just gone, oh no, De Goey's in the goal square by himself. They've started chipping around a little bit. I've started running, trying to get back to the goal square.
Were you cooked?
Yeah, it was the last minute of the grand final, so tired, but also last minute of the grand final, get back to De Goey. Sprinting back. Gov, because he's so bloody lazy and doesn't press. Seriously. He hadn't moved. He's standing in the goal square, ended up on De Goey. I would never have pressed that contest. It would have been Jets v. My check. He would have marked it 1-on-1.
Do you want me to give you another fun fact about that last play?
You're a hero.
Oh, just rolling the dice,
You're
baby.
a hero.
You want to hear another fun fact about that play?
Yes.
So, Scully will probably know this. It's probably been spoken about. But Liam Ryan and Dom Sheed were meant to be off the ground at this stage of the game. They were the next rotation and were set to come off, but they
But
couldn't.
the play was on the outer side.
Correct.
Wow.
So they couldn't get off the ground.
The legend begins. The ball ends up in the hands of Dom Sheed. He's tucked tight on the boundary line. Likely be West Coast's last chance to steal the game. The moment of truth. Jamie, do you think he'd kick it?
No, we were interested in his approach, actually. In the box, we were calling, saying that we thought that he'd go around on the left and snap it. But, yeah, I didn't have my house on him, to be honest. So I'm not sure if you did, Simo. But,
What do you think as it was lining up, Simo?
Let's get the zones right, I was thinking.
Yeah.
So,
one thing about it, the boys back at our old base in Subiaco practice from that pocket before training, post-training. So I'm not sure how many kicks Dom would have had from there, but
it's a great
at
point.
least 500 kicks, I reckon.
There's the tunnel. 3 days a week, 4 days a week, they're having shots from that exact spot out of the tunnel. So he would have had over 1,000 shots in the last 4 years from that spot. So maybe we should have backed him in.
Yeah.
It was a perfect kick. They're still left 1:45 on the clock, and as you mentioned, the ball sails through. You guys hit the front. That last, I imagine, did the last 105 seconds of the game go super quick or super slow?
I don't know. There was a bit of a blur. I think when you kick the goal, there's two things you got to do. When there's a set shot, one is the zones and how we're going to defend a kick in, and the second one is if we kick a goal, we're behind and we're in a mode where we want to score, and you hit the lead, then you got to flip into the mode of defence. And credit to our leaders and our players, you went straight into the structure that we normally set up, and every team has this, but they went into it straight away. So whoever said that on the podcast was right. We actually had Dom and Liam Ryan. They were meant to be off at that time when they were part of that play. So Liam came off when that goal was kicked, and I think Lecker came on, and they went into the defensive structure. So we set up pretty well for a very important part of the day. And up until the Jack Darling drop mark, it was going pretty well.
You managed to hang on for that last 1 minute 45. As the siren sounds, what was going through your mind?
Just relief. I mean, I didn't think about winning until the last. I looked up and there was 3 seconds on the clock, and I thought, I think we're going to win this. And so when the siren went, I was just in relief mode. Yeah, I'm not sure what you were feeling, mate.
The same relief. Proud of everyone involved, really. All that hard work that everyone puts in throughout the year. And to see the boys celebrating the way they were was amazing.
Luke Shuey won the Norm Smith medal, 34 touches, 9 clearances, 8 tackles, 8 inside 50s, a goal and 2 goal assists. It was an amazing performance.
It was. He's an exceptional player.